Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moonride. This is Dave Johnson, and I'm channeling the man in the moon. Today, again, I'm going to look at Trump, but I was just meditating on my floor here, and I saw something really interesting, which is Trump pulling on this chain, looking really happy, thinking that something's working out. And then at the end of the chain, there's some kind of projectile that surprises him and hits him in the head. And then the next thing I saw was Michael Flynn looking really shifty, like maybe he's starting to talk. I'm going to take a look at both of these right now. So, starting with the Donald, the former guy. Again, I'm getting that image, and it's like really intriguing. If you guys watch my videos, you know that these really weird metaphors sometimes, and just what's spirit trying to tell you. I'm just trying to interpret them. Hopefully I'm getting a little better over time, but there is some important meaning to like a chain link. Maybe it's a chain or a connection or the steps to something, and then this just looks like some kind of weird, I don't know, stick or something, but it's like as he's pulling it, he thinks he's doing all right, and then boom, again, it hits him in the head, and he's really surprised. Now he's looking worried. I just watched an episode of David Pakman, where he says, Trump's losing support. There isn't that much support anymore for him. Maybe there's, still 60% of Republicans that want him to run, but that's down major points. And you'll notice that the Republicans are starting to fight among each other. And I'm just telling you, just as a personal observation, before channeling, that, Republicans don't really want Trump. Now he's divisive. He's making him look bad. He's bringing him to this total extreme. He lost the last election, so why would you want him on your team? He's a loser. So I think that is part of it. Maybe that could be it, but it's just, politically, the old games, I feel like those are the chain links. The old games aren't working anymore. The links that he made before are coming back to haunt him. And that is, Trump always attacking. All right, that's kind of my opinion. I'll get back to the channel here. Or at least that's in my interpretation. Let's get back to channeling. Okay, focus, Dave. So what's happening next here? And he kind of runs away. Trump gets hit in the head, and then he kind of goes, uh-oh, and then he runs away. Yeah, and he's running towards what looks like a federal building, like it could be the Senate or the White House. And interestingly, it's almost like both. And he's like running towards them, like, hey, save me, rescue me. Oh, here comes Lindsey Graham with his arms crossed, like, I'm done with you. You'll notice that Lindsey Graham is now no longer honoring Trump so much. He's now against Trump's idea of, letting the people who attacked the Capitol off. He has come out and said this. So here's Lindsey Graham, like with his arms crossed, saying, Senate's not yours anymore. That's what he's saying. It's like almost Lindsey going, I play the long game here. I've been here a while. I know what I'm doing. This kind of like Lindsey actually saying no, and being very Machiavellian. Like when it was useful to Trump's friends, yeah, but it's not really useful for him anymore to be Trump's friend. So he's looking, and there's several other conservatives standing behind Lindsey. And when I say conservatives, I don't mean the crazy nut jobs like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean the old school Republicans. They're like there with their, no way, man, you're not going past this step. It's almost like they're saying you've caused enough damage. This is really important. These group of people are no longer willing to play Trump's game. They're going to play a political game, but that's not going to include Donald Trump. This is extremely important. He will not run. He will not win. That's the message that I'm getting. Like, no way are we going through this again. Keep in mind, these people were in a Capitol that was being attacked, and, literally feel feared for their lives. They don't want to go through this again. And I don't think that they think he's a political benefit. They're like, no, you're not getting on one step up this Capitol again. So, all right, since we've shifted, let's take a look at these senators and say, you guys going to do anything about the attack on the Capitol? You guys going to punish these people? They're kind of like not this, they give me the impression like they go back to their office and they're like, okay, we'll tell people. They're not going to be overt about the fact that they're pretty much supporting Liz Cheney. They are not going to be totally obvious about this, but behind Trump's back, behind the public's back, they are actually quite angry. They are not accepting that those people who attacked the Capitol are okay. And they're getting really quite serious. So I see them working pretty hard to make sure that some people in the Congress, some people who really tried to effect a coup, those people are they're going to start supporting the investigation for January 6th that they're turning against Jim Jordan and Biggs and all the other, crazy right-winger people. So they really are kind of going towards justice. I think they're even ready, even like this, I forget who this conservative guy is. He's just going like this, like, I'm ready to jettison those guys. I'm ready to get rid of the crazies from my party because they're not helping us. Like, hey, look, this is the reality. We have to look at a long-term future. There's no long-term with these guys. And go back to the old school Republican ways of just being, kind of subtly corrupt. All right. So, and I'm just going to ask him, so you're going to send Jim Jordan to jail? Are you going to let that happen? They're thinking about it. They're not sure now, but they're talking, and they're talking about it, and they're considering, I mean, in one hand, it's basically like, hey, it's out of our hands. Liz Cheney, she's going to do her thing. We just let her take the fallout, let her take the heat, and she'll do it. And we can just stand there and be like, oh, well, we didn't do anything wrong. So they're just going to let Liz do the dirty work that they're afraid to do, but they're not going to help Jordan at this point. And they're no longer willing to help others who backed the coup. Yeah, particularly the gosh, who is the woman who it's not Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's like the petite woman who loves guns, and she keeps breaking the rules and breaking guns there. I want to say Babbitt or Bobbitt, but I know that's wrong. Sorry, when I'm channeling, I forget names. But y'all know who I mean, I think. She's that really petite psycho lady who has like the restaurant where you can carry guns. We haven't heard from her for a while, so it's not surprising we don't know her name. But she's the first to go. Like, she's the first one that they're gonna really jump on and get rid of. And that is Republicans, not just Democrats. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a little bit safer because she has that sort of Trump aspect. She can bring a lot of, she can be that outlier that still brings voters to the party. They seem to be a little bit more looking at her as how can they use Marjorie Taylor Greene as to their advantage. Okay, so I'm being told like move on to Michael Flynn. He might be the more interesting character in all of this. Flynn, again, he does this sort of thing where he's like, shifty, looks right, looks left. Is anybody watching me? This man is a complete criminal and rather pathetic. Now, he just looks like a pathetic little, thief, the person who steals something from a grocery store as a kid and gets used to that. He's looking shifty. So, Mike Flynn, are you going to turn on Trump? Yes, he says. I already have. Wow. So, why? Why are you turning on Trump, Michael? That's self-preservation. That's what I'm about. I'm about self-preservation and my advantages. And right now, it's not an advantage to stick with Trump. And he says this, I don't want to go to jail again. He'd do anything to stay out of jail. It terrifies him. And the fact that he would be in jail would tarnish his reputation even further. That's something that just psychologically he finds very upsetting. There's other things that he's doing. Michael Flynn's doing something really bad. There are other things that I think he has connections to other, bad behaviors and crime. Believe it or not, I see him with a frying pan. He's got this frying pan. It's the black metal kind, the cast iron, and he's got the cast iron on the stove. This is that, cast iron, when it heats up, you put your hand on it and it burns. So you have to be careful when you use it. And that's what's happening. It's like, hello, I cooked up this brew, but now I don't know what to do with it. There's evidence. There's like a library of evidence. He's in a library. He's trying to hide the evidence. He's trying to move the books around so you can't find them. There may be addictions involved with Michael Flynn. I'm seeing just various addictions. I see a needle. I see him smoking what appears to be a marijuana. He's a mess. There are a lot of things that he needs to cover. And among them may be some kinds of addiction that he will not be able to satisfy in jail. So, all right, who are you talking to, Michael? The FBI, perhaps the CIA, both. And he's telling them more than just about January 6th. He's like, look, I got stacks and stacks of information, and it has more to do with other things that Trump did that I know about. Okay, it doesn't have to do with Russia. I'm seeing a flag, but I don't, and I'm not very good at flags, but I don't think this is the Russian flag. God, it's like some other country, like Syria or something. There's some other nefarious thing that he did. I think he played more than one country. It seems like there's more than one flag. And Trump knew about this. So, Flynn, you're really going to give up Trump? Is that what you're doing? Yes, I am. He's sad about it. He feels bad that he's doing it, but he's a man with virtually no character whatsoever. He doesn't stand or believe in anything except his own power, his own ego. So he is kind of like a pathetic, scared little kid who's done something wrong and knows he's in trouble. His parents should have punished him when he was shoplifting at 10, and maybe they wouldn't have this problem, but instead he got away with it. It's like that kind of person, they're still really 10 years old and waiting to get their wrist slapped by a ruler, kind of guy. He looks really dejected, though. He knows somehow that this will ruin his reputation with Republicans forever. And we know he's not making friends with any Democrats. So this is literally, he's going to become a social pariah. And he knows that, but it's better than going to jail. There is not a great future for Michael Flynn. So, Spirit, is there anything else we need to know about? No, I'm getting in no. Thanks so much for watching.